Hey everyone, this is Emily with Party People Events. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a 3-color latex-free column using all orbs. This is going to be the first video in a latex-free series, so let's get started. Let's talk about the 3 main things you want to consider. The first one being if your event is going to be inside or outside, because that determines if we need to fully inflate these or not. Because if they are outside and they are fully inflated, they're gonna pop. So that's number 1. Number 2 would be if it's gonna be seen from more than one side. This is only decorated on this side because no one's back here. So that's number 2. And then lastly, number 3 is if the event is latex free or not. Because if it's not latex free and they don't care, then you can use 260s to tie these onto the pole. It's super easy. But if it is latex free, then we use elastic band that you can get off Amazon. Let's talk about transporting these. So the way we do it here is we would have this column made. The only thing that would be different is the accents wouldn't be on it, because transporting these compared to latex isn't the same. Latex balloons like to nestle in and hug each other, and they don't move around as much as these ones do. These ones, they move around. So this isn't going to look the same as it will when we get on site. That's why we have everything ready, and then we just add the accents in on site. So it's fully in place, it's not going to move again, and we can just add these puppies in and leave it alone. Next, let's talk about our poles and bases. We use a pipe and drape base and then EMT. You can use a knot lamp, but we prefer this because it is more sturdy, especially for outside events. But a knot lamp works fine inside as well. Now let's talk about covering our poles. Why we do this? Because if you're looking at this and you can see inside of it, if there's like a gap, it's going to look way better if it's the same color as your balloons than it is just a silver pole. Now we use 2 options here. You can use a foil paper like this one, or you can use a dead balloon. If you use a dead balloon, it's going to be the same color as your column, making it even better, making it disappear completely. But I'm going to be using a foil paper just to show you how to cover the pole. This is 4 inches. And you're just going to take, to get started, you're going to take a piece of tape, start at the top of your pole, and just secure it with your piece of tape right at the top. And then take another piece of tape, go to the bottom, tape it at the bottom just to secure it, and then from that point, you can wrap it. And then once you wrap it, making sure it's tight, this is where you can add another piece of tape at the top to secure the top. Same with the bottom. And if it's tight enough, you don't need to add a middle piece of tape, but if you have like a flap or if it's loose, more tape won't hurt. So pull it tight, and then you're going to want to do that the rest of your pole. Now that our pole is all covered, we can finally start pre-inflating and prepping for this job. We pre-inflate all of our foil balloons before we get on site because it just saves time, and also so we can see what is going to make it and what's not going to make it. Today we are making a 3-color column. My pole is 7 feet, so I'm going to do about almost 2.5 feet per color. So you can take your measuring tape and measure that out. We have all of our balloons already blown up, so we can get straight into tying them onto the pole. And I'm going to show you how we do it here. When you're making your columns, we typically start with your biggest size first. And I'm going to be using the elastic band that you can find off Amazon, or you can use a 260 if you know your event is latex. You can use latex. And we're just going to do like 1 tie balloon, and then we're going to do a double tie just to make sure that it is secured. We don't want it going anywhere. And then we are going to make a loop. And the reason why is because this makes it super easy to just drop this balloon right on the pole. So, yeah, I think it's... And I'm going to need a ladder because I am not 7 feet tall. So let me grab that. Now, we can finally get started. Take my balloon with the loop. We're just going to put this right on top. And it's just going to go down. Perfect. So the loop works great, especially when we reuse them. That way when we're taking this apart at takedown or when we get back to the shop, we can just take them off, and then the next time we use them, they'll already be ready to go. But another way you can do this is just tying it directly to the pole and not even making a loop at all. This also works just fine. So 3 balloons is going to be all you need. Don't worry about the gaps because we're going to fill that in later. We're going to make this look really good. After you get your base balloons on, this is the part where I start adding in different sizes. So the next one you could use like 2 big ones and then a smaller one, or you can do 2 small ones and 1 big one, whatever you think looks good. I have reached my 2.5 mark, so I'm going to switch colors now to a lighter blue. So I typically use 1 to 2 sizes for like the base. So I have a bigger size here and a smaller size here. And I like the way it looks when you like mix the 2 together. So we have 1 row, maybe have 1 big one and 2 small ones, or 2 big ones and 1 small one. And then we will add even smaller ones as accents, and so it will tie the whole thing together. And it looks like 3 rows is where my 2.5 foot mark is. Now that we are about 2 rows from being at the top, this is when I'm going to start adding some smaller sizes just so it tapers. So I'm not going to use any of the big ones for the last 2 rows. Just like that, we have the pole completely covered. So now we can start adding the accents, which is my favorite part personally. Now that we are ready for our accents, as you can see, there are some gaps in your design. And I just want to point out that this is why we cover our poles, because if that pole wasn't covered, it would be a really big eyesore. So for our accents, the way we typically do it is we kind of make a nunchuck sort of a situation. This elastic is super stretchy, so I'm just going to take 2 smaller balloons, or you can use a magic star depending on your accents. And I'm going to just wrap it around one of these balloons. And that way it's super movable. I can probably put this one over here. I can put this one up here. And that's not gonna go anywhere. Another option for adding add-ons is packing tape or U-glue. And I'm just going to find where I want to stick this. And you can stick her right there. Might want to add another point of contact right there just so it's extra secure. And this method is more of a like once you get on site, because if you're transporting this, it's probably, chances of it coming off are higher. But one of my rules is if I'm taping something on, I usually like to have more than 1 point of contacts for the tape, because you don't want to just rely on one thing when you could rely on 2, and that's 10 times better. If you have a bigger hole like this one right here, a bigger balloon is just fine. Yeah. Now that we're kind of switching colors, I like to do maybe a dark blue and then a royal blue just to transition. Looks like that looks pretty good. So this balloon did not have a tab, so what you can do is I H-taped it. So I put my string here, tape, tape, and tape, and then I tied it off. So that shouldn't go anywhere. Now that we are all finished with our column, the last thing you want to do before you leave is just make sure that you're happy with it. Make sure that there's no gaps. If there is, put a balloon there. Make sure nothing's dying. If it's dying, then replace it. And just make sure that you're happy with the overall shape of it. And make sure that your client is too. that is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you love it, because I do. And we will see you in the next one.